Welcome to the show. All things Bulldogs. Here we go, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Blue and white pride. Bulldogs for life. Dog father here. Gas by my side.
G'day, Doggies fans, all things Bulldogs, and Gas is in jail again. How you going, buddy?
Hey, mate. How you going?
Well, at least you sound good. Obviously,
Yeah,
the dodgy laptop.
Behind bars again. I don't know,
Oh.
man. It's a bit weird. Took a
As
full...
they say, stripes are slimming.
That's all right.
Welcome to everyone who's been waiting. G'day to Dave. Great to tune in after a win. G'day to Tony. Truly unbelievable game. We've also got Sayed. Welcome to you. Standard that we won because we're lucky. Fans come out. Win equals luck and losing. Win equals luck and losing equals we're shit, according to them. No pleasing them. Personally love these sort of wins. Also, what's the go of Sitili? Keep hearing he's injured. Saw he came off in Golden Point. Welcome to Lucas. Welcome to Brian. Welcome to Lockie. Brian's currently out for dinner, so he won't be able to hear anything at the moment. Welcome to Timmy.
Hey,
Welcome
guys.
to Matty Warren. GD, boys, get a dog up. Yeah, that's it, mate. And welcome to Heinzie. What a great win for a New South Wales Cup team. In first grade, it was good to see Latrell Thing debut in New South Wales Cup. Yes, we'll talk about that. Welcome to you, Aki.
G'day, son.
G'day, son. Now, I haven't actually been watching what's been happening in the other games, so it obviously just finished.
Rooters, mate. The Rooters.
Who'd they beat?
Touched up the Sharks. 27-8.
Wow.
And
They've
the other
been
one
disappointing.
was 20-all at half time for
Mm.
Canberra, and then 42-20 in Munster's 250th.
There you go. So 250 already. He could play a lot more games, Munster.
Mm.
I'll tell you what, wonder how many headlines Canberra will get this week.
Well, they're just saying that, mate. They're coming second last, so it'd be interesting to see if they get anything.
I reckon there'll be more negativity about us winning than they'll get for losing.
Yeah.
But good win for the Titans. Tigers got smashed by heavily depleted Dolphins, and the Knights scraped in against the Dragons, who I think will be dangerous to a lot of sides. They're sort of desperate every week. I know their season's gone. They're going to get a couple of weird wins, I think, as the season progresses. And g'day to Bulldogs Mike. Welcome to you, mate. Let's effing go. Matty, the detractors must be so disappointed. Fuck them. That's right. Tony saying Preston 50-50. Yep. We're going to talk about that. Amir, what's going on with Canberra? That's right. There you go, Timmy. No team's ever won the premiership after conceding 50 points. I think Dolphins have what it takes to break that record and win the premiership. Look, I think they're got a good balance and they've got a lot of depth and they've got a great junior base. And, yeah, but I don't think they'll be winning the premiership this year. I really don't. Just my opinion. I'm sure they could. Depends how they ref the games come semi-final time, and it looks like we're going to go more towards what we had than what we've got at the moment, I think, as the games get bigger. Welcome to James. The Galvin-Harrison matchup at Seabus. Yeah, Harrison with the field goal. And g'day, Joby. Good win by the boys. I think we'll get into it now, Gas. Said hello.
Yeah.
We've got a fair few people watching. What was it like at the game, mate? What was it like at the game?
18,000 and a bit of change was a very good atmosphere there. Heavily
Disappointing
dominated.
crowd, though.
Disappointing, yeah. It was. You would have expected normally at least 25 or something like that. So, looking around, I said it was going to be about 18.5, and I wasn't too far off. It was pretty poor, but it was vocal. So they needed a lot of prompting though to get themselves going. But there was enough Manly supporters to keep them interested whenever they did something in the usual corner over there. But overall, most people accepted sort of the result on the day. There was a lot of negativity talking still. People just complaining about everything as it goes. Like people just continue to keep, criticize every play, every negativity, everything that they see. Keep expecting miracles. I mean, the game was basically, 13-12. So I don't know if they're expecting us to score 10 tries in a tight game where a team that scored 20-25 more tries than us this year was, we basically held them to 3 tries. So it was, still tight finish at the end there, obviously, guys. And, the Bulldogs were trying to set up for that field goal. They did well. I think we did better in that position. I mean, just Critta didn't, hit the first one the way he wanted. It was a good setup, got himself nice and deep. The pass came and it just, pushed it across the face. The second opportunity he got, he ended up, probably could have gone without putting that kick in that second time. But then the last one, obviously, hit it clean. But I've got to say, for the Dogs to actually defend the Manly set that they had on our line where they had opportunities to kick that field goal, that was great desperation. Also, not to give away a penalty there. So it could have been so easy. You charge down, you do something silly. But that desperation was awesome. But from a crowd and team perspective, there's a lot of people, as usual, that turn up super early to get in there. I mean, the gates only opened an hour before kickoff, so 6:30, which is pretty late. But there were no games beforehand. But yeah, that was only a pretty tight turnaround from sort of coming in to kick off. So for those who braved the weather, it was pretty cold there. and came down. Thank you. And for those who couldn't make it or watched it on TV, I hope you enjoyed the game as well. But let's talk about that game as well.
All righty, mate. Yep. Beautiful summary. Do you want to go through a few more of the chats that are on there? I think.
Yeah, mate. No worries. Let's have a look. So,
sorry,
yeah,
guys.
Timmy's saying that Titans upset the Panthers minus all the Origin players. Yeah, the headlines will be about Critta playing 5'8". It is the Bulldogs Rugby League, the BRL, not the NRL. That's right, Sayed. It's always the way, mate. They'll be debating that. Do you think the theory or stat rings true? The Titans will have a Titanic moment against us after playing. I'm hoping they've played their grand final last week or on yesterday. I'm hoping that we can go out there. They're on a high. They've just beaten the Panthers. Look what happened to us after we beat the Panthers. We lost 5 in a row. So, g'day, Rain Man. Up the Waz. Yep, the Waz did well. Harrison was second pick for the under 19s Origin when Mitch was picked over him each time. Very bullish on our halves coming through. Yeah. Tracy did have a great game, Matty. That's right. He was faultless at the back there. You got to give it to Fogarty. He's a great kicker of the ball, and he really challenged him on a lot of kicks. Even that 40-20, which was more a 25-20, it's hard to sort of fault Tracy on that one. I mean, generally when someone's that far back, Tracy had himself in position to take the kick, knowing what was supposed to come for him. That was just an outrageous kick that basically never gave him a chance to get it. So other than that, I thought it was awesome. You could see he was doing a lot of talking in defense as well, marshalling the guys around. Even if he took the one off the kick, guys, he still came in and did another hit up in that set. He was tiring, made a few half breaks, hit that great one where you had Hayward to Galvin and back on the inside where they put Tracy away. That was a great play. That was a great play late in the game. That's some of the stuff they've been working on. And that's the stuff with the bye, guys. When you've got the bye, you get to hit the reset, have a look at some things, and then work on things that you haven't been doing or not able to do. And to do that late in the game and set themselves up, gave that back to Tuala. It was just unlucky that Trbojevic pulled off a crazy one-on-one strip there, really unlucky. And we copped a couple, actually. Karaz had a one-on-one strip as well on zero tackle coming off our line, and then they actually scored off that. So that was hard to take as well. And that was, that was just another great one as well. But, so that's good. Teams don't win after playing Penrith. Good time to get the Titans.
Yeah, Dave.
D. Yeah, mate. On the way to the ground, the Manly fans were singing Eagle Rock and chanting Fozball.
There you go. D actually put together that little beautiful clip at the start. I'll just show that quickly for people who didn't see it. So we'll watch this again quickly. I'll cut it off. I'll turn it off when the Bulldog song comes on, but here we go. Again, I won't, but it sort of glitched a bit there. But very, very good, very good. Putting the seagull in the bin, which is what we want to see. You're back now.
Yeah, no, the thing muted us when you put the thing on. Heinz is saying, I don't care how many points we win by, as long as we win. Our defense was very good. 100%, Heinzie. Defense was awesome. The effort was there. Obviously, they scored 3 tries, but that's still a lot better than what they've been sort of doing overall in the season. But the scrambling defense was what I thought was outstanding. Even though that first try they scored, they made that break down the right hand side. Sort of when Birdo got left on the ground, they sort of attacked the blind side again and got us again. But we defended that till the end of the set. Then they just scored from a pretty good play at the end there. You know, really good short ball there by Tommy T. And then the sort of pass, the late pass as he was getting tackled for the corner. But they sort of still defended well. We didn't concede it straight off that. Normally we've been conceding straight off that play when we concede a break. So that was good. So overall, defense was really, really good. And, you know, for that kind of game, you know, early on, you felt like we were sort of, as long as it stayed tight like that, we felt like we were in that game. And just, you know, they threw a lot at us, Manly. They've got a very, very fast team. They're very confident at the moment. They're throwing the ball around. Things are working for them. So they were, you know, like 4 line breaks to 0 by half time, and they could have been a lot more up on that. You know, we had a few half chances in the first half, but you know, they weren't clean line breaks, but they were still good enough. But, you know, the second half, you could see, I know a lot of people complaining about, you know, we lost a few balls to, you know, offloads and that. But if you look at it overall, what we were generating from those offloads sort of was sort of outnumbers the risk factor on that, because we got so many more away. Even Max King was outstanding early on, giving some away, you know, offloads. Obviously the usual suspects, Carraz, etc. So yeah, the defense held us together and kept us in the game and allowed them to start playing. And even though both teams were coming off the bye, I still feel like we were full of running towards the end there, and still had the presence of mind to, you know, set up perfectly for that last field goal. And look at that set, guys. Max King, Leo Thompson, those runs that they were doing in the 93rd minute were just unbelievable. That shows sort of how well they're, you know, conditioned, you know, to be up for that sort of stuff. And yes, we are desperate, but you still have to execute. So,
all righty. Well, let's bloody get into it, eh? I'm gonna show something from last week. You nearly did the whole bloody review in one chat. Yes, well done.
You've only just started, mate. Just started, mate.
Oh, can't get a word in.
Now you know how I feel.
Well, as I said, buddy, see this beautiful head? All right, what am I doing? What am I doing? Don't hit that. I'll just hit leave the studio. Oh, I saved it. All right. I said, see you, guys. Do. All right. So let's listen to this, people. Let me know if you can't hear it or anything. Before we move to the forwards, any thoughts from you, Gas? Will that back line change?
I would still make one change. I would bring Jethro in for Cherry and put Tuala in the centres.
Oh, so that's what you would do. What's your prediction?
I think Jethro's there for a reason. I just feel like Cherry's out of form. I don't know. I know he had one good game against Melbourne, but I feel like he's out of form. And we're wasting Tuala on the wing, guys. I just feel... I know that Serraldo likes to make those late changes, but yeah, I really want to see that this week. I'm digging it.
Before we... Oh, my God. There we go. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Oh, you could hear it? Cool. So well done. Gas got the prediction for the week, and that was very good. And that's what you get on this show. We identify the patterns. I didn't think it would happen. I just thought Cherry get another go, but obviously 2 weeks off, must-win game. Every game's like a grand final at the moment. It was probably something where they just had to, obviously, they were going to push Critta out. They knew what they were doing with Critta. I think with the Critta thing, You could see there was lots of things that he did that I think they would have worked on. The pass to Rinakama, which was high and harder. As we were saying today, AJ Johnson probably stands a little bit closer to the sideline, and he's used to catching those balls like that. And Critta knows that to have the courage to throw a ball like that, it has to be hard, has to be fast, especially over Jason Saab, who's probably had about 3 intercepts against us over the years. And when he gets an intercept, it's shut the gate generally. Obviously, that tackle on him by Harry Hayes and Jethro backing up around that was another thing that we talked about. But yeah, that was really well picked, Gas, on the Cherry thing. Look, I actually expected that he would play and he'd sort of get a last chance saloon. But when you go back and look at it and reflect and think, well, they had that 2-week break. Critta and that didn't back up from Origin. Like, they had a set plan of what they were going to do. Look, defensively, I still feel there was probably more defensive mistakes in that game than there was in the previous game. But you're going to make more mistakes against a team which is throwing a lot more at you. And so it's probably and look, I was getting messages from a few people doubting after about 10 minutes. This, that, and the other. It all started. Like, they don't wait around to start writing their team off. You know what I mean? And the fact of them, and I just ignored them this time. I get sick of dealing with people's emotions. But I do it. I often do it, but I had my own to deal with. And but the thing I will say about that game is I 100% agree with the scramble was fantastic. Obviously helps when you get that break. Connor Tracy is much more like, he makes some breaks. He's doing more support plays. He can do all that when he is fit. And if he can maintain fitness, and then they get another 2-week break. So they play the Titans, which will be like a grand final, another 2-week break, and then it's the run home. And I would give us a huge chance of winning some tight battles and just evolving that attack more and more and more. Now, we will talk about whether we think Matt Burton and Stephen Crichton will remain in those positions. Look, I think if you win in a certain way, although they did beat Parramatta with Crichton playing in the centres and whatever else. I just won't expect too many changes while they're winning, but I also think that I do think this is part of the shoulder preservation. Critter only taking 5 or 6 runs. Probably still down a little bit on his natural game confidence that we talked about as well. And I actually agree, Gas, he acted more like the halfback. Gas said that to me last night. He was more of a controlling player. And I like the fact they did some second tackle chips and third tackle kicks behind and stuff like that, because that's what we were talking about as well. Probably should have put my footage up talking about that over the last 2 weeks. But the fact of the matter is that it changes the way things happen. Now, I also had another negative comment about Leo Thompson. Now, what people don't understand is that he's running off the back fence, and just say he gets to the 12-metre and then Taniela Paseka and Heverington and whoever else meet him right on. And they smash him, right? But what that does, if you've got blokes that are able to do that and keep running into that brick wall starts to weaken and tire quicker than it normally would. And that is a thing that stifles their attack a little bit. It brings them back. It means they run out of power a little bit quick. The other thing about yesterday's game is that we've been winning all the stats against most of the sides. Yesterday, we lost most of the stats. Um,
but won the important one.
the important one, right? I did a massive stats breakdown last week to show that we're top 8 and improved in all the ones we want to improve in post contact. All those effort stats, tackle breaks, tackle busts. We're making meters. We're making more meters per run, and we're still restricting the amount of meters that other teams make. Now, I think Manly have I think Foz has been very smart with the way he's played a lot. They're making ground on the edge. They're doing that effectively. Like getting the ball out onto edges to make ground. And their forwards, everything's working to plan. Taniela Paseka, if he doesn't play, like in my opinion, they're at least a 6 to 12 better point per game better side with him in that team. And he'd been developing as their sort of enforcer for a long time and had that bad sort of kept having injuries. And like if he goes down, Manly won't offer much in a final series. They still got a lot of like they still could produce wins and stuff, but they're a much better side with him in it. Fogarty, sometimes I think he should just kick the ball to wherever he's going, except not drop kick it, because I reckon if there was a stat for a player that has stepped up to take field goals as much as him and missed as much as him. Look, I don't even know if he's got one. I think he might have one field goal in his career from about 80 attempts. It's something ridiculous. He's had so many shots at field goal, this guy, and he just keeps missing. And I love the fact he keeps taking them, but he keeps missing them. His passing last night as well was off, luckily for us. So look, I might be catering to some of the doubters here. Look, that was a real Bulldogs type win. When sort of our backs are against the wall, we're really struggling. We just kept finding a way, and we found a way. We needed a bit of luck. They missed their goals. We defended that set brilliantly when they had that kick from in front. It sort of pissed me off when Alexander goes, "Oh, Hayward wasn't that effective at stopping Fogarty's kick." Like, oh, Hayward run it. Like he made out like Fogarty was just shit and that Hayward didn't do much to try and stop that, or we didn't do much in that set to try and stop them. I felt that the way we defended that set was great. We were onside, and Hayward did put a lot of pressure on Fogarty. Like, I don't know what the fucking comment was about from Alexander. As we keep talking about, it just feels like they're feeding into everything constantly with our players, and I'm over it. I've had enough of it. You know, the Ricky Stewart Raiders should be getting absolutely torn a fucking new one for how they've performed this season. As the minor premiers, with a team that made a grand final, that's only lost a couple of players since then, continue to build on youth and get some really good hires and got a lot of experience into that side, who take the punt on keeping Papali'i and then handing the keys to Sanders. And they've lost their attack. No one's talking about their attack. They can't close out games. They can't do anything. They're getting smashed. They're losing games, and they just get a free ride every week. And it's pissing me off. You know, I don't mind how they're sort of talking about it, but it's just pissing me off that they just keep talking about us. Already today, Code Sports is setting us up for, you know, the Bulldogs won, but does it raise more fucking questions than answers? You know, it's, you know, you look at that team change with Critta and Burton, you just go, oh, Serrato must be he must like getting tortured by the fan base and by everyone, because it's like, if they are listening to the fans and actually listening to the advice from the noise, they're not doing what the noise is telling them they should be doing. That's for sure. And yeah, but I'm glad they don't. I really am. I'm glad we won. I don't like Critta at 5'8" as a long-term option, unless he can start to run and play his natural game. And look, if Birdo just keeps getting the ball and plays like, look, if Birdo's going to play centre, I want him to play like Tommy Turbo in Origin type centre, where he just chimes in and he's throwing beautiful balls to the winger and stuff like that, or coming in as if he's the fullback, and just roams around on the other side and helps and just doesn't stop being a part of everything that's happening. That's what I want from Burton if he's going to do that. And if we need a big fucking kick, just step in and throw one, you know. And Critta can chase. I don't know. Like, I just felt some of Critta's kicks were really good, actually, a lot of hang time, and we restricted their meters. I think they only average maybe 2 meters per set more than what we normally restrict teams to. And they restricted us probably about 5 to 6 meters per set. Yeah, it was weird how, Tracy got so many return meters off the kicks. So, because we were still keeping them pinned, but we didn't make much more ground after that. Like, they really forced us to play. They sort of said, you're going to have to play around us and force their hand a bit. And I was actually really pleased at some of the variation that happened, like Galvin taking a couple of runs from dummy, Burton doing a lot more dummy runs, obviously, from centre. But a lot of the time we've seen not many dummy runs coming from our centres and wingers. Like, it's been a pass off, Galvin or Hayward usually Galvin gets back there and will pass from dummy half coming out of yardage. So it's good to see Birdo get in a dummy half. But yeah, and then I felt we started to play a bit of footy, make some breaks and some desperate plays to stop us, and we had some knock-ons, but at least it was off positive footy, and I think we saw the start of that against Para, and we saw that against Wests and Melbourne, where we actually found our field position pretty well. Manly actually defended really well last night too. That's another thing that probably people aren't going to really look at, is that Manly were up for that game. It was a high pressure game. They made a lot of mistakes too because of the pressure that we put them under. So yeah, it's but getting back to Cherry, I think in hindsight it was a lot more obvious than I thought it was when I was looking at it. Yeah, and because Brinicama had been there for a few weeks, and but he probably needed a run, Brinicama, so that it just made sense. It's why I did a post, Gas, that AJ Jones would play, because if he's not going to sit on the bench and not play when they need to put miles into his legs, or get him some sort of run where he's burning a bit, when he could have gone to New Zealand and played a full game starting on an edge or something, and gone and seen his family and everything like that, and had a good catch up. It just was a pattern that had to happen, right? So we look at it. If probably wasn't looking at it, but Brinicama needed a run too, didn't he? Probably more
There was method to my madness about that as well. Like we always talk about, there is patterns that you got to look at. Serralda drew a line in the sand earlier in the season, obviously, when he did drop Cherry. So there's a reason why he dropped him. He said that Tuala was playing well, etc. That's fine. He did put him on the bench. He dropped him initially in reserve grade, put him on the bench when we started copying a few injuries. I feel like his time wasn't done in what he wanted to do. I feel like he came back in ahead of time. So all along, I felt like he was back in the team, and he was just staying because, Critta was injured, etc. He was out, and all these little things that were just not normal. That wasn't normal times. He made the decision initially. Tuala came in, Cherry's out, New South Wales Cup. Then he played that good game against Melbourne, so that was a stave execution. But the last two games, and obviously it helps when you see the games live and you're there and you're watching off the ball, you're watching everything. when you've seen the way that Cherry's been playing, and we've spoken about him all year, even in the off-season, we spoke about how he's the guy that needs to improve. He's got a lot more to offer. It's about him now believing in that. And I feel like he hasn't taken that next step. What he's failed to do, in my eyes, is properly link with his wingers outside him. He's got this big tendency to have that big left foot step, where he tries to zigzag in, and he's done it last year in the Manly game. If you remember, Allianz, he scored that try, did it against the Roosters. So he's got that. So that's why when he was in the right side, he was complaining, because that doesn't help his step in that left foot step. That it doesn't help his play. It's against his natural running style. So that's why he was intrinsically complaining about that. So for me, all these little things, when you add them up, and I know Seraldo, he's not afraid to make these decisions. I know that we won against Parramatta, but he would have looked at that game, looked at the way that things happened, and go, I know that we should have won that game by more. I know there's opportunities where we should have given our winger time and given him the ball, and he didn't. So I felt like that was, for me, the bottom line, and he had to sort of pull the trigger. That's why I felt like that was the game where, he's going to run out of patience, and Jethro being on that team, and I know Seraldo makes his late changes. It was always going to be, for me, like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. So when it did happen at, whatever it was, 6 o'clock yesterday, it wasn't overly a surprise. But it was still a good change. And he kept him on the bench to, be back cover, but that's obviously in case we lost someone else in there. But Tuala, no one can argue with his output. Jethro, it wasn't his best game, but in fairness to Jethro, he hasn't been playing a lot. So, his first attempt at catch was a knock on, and there was a couple of little errors here and there as well. But you look at the effort, even that try save where Harry Hayes came flying back. Jethro had made that run as well and was there to make that tackle and jump on top after Harry did the initial. So he was gutsy in what he was trying to do. And the more he plays, the better he'll get. So, like Michael said, I spoke to him about that today. He just needed to be that one more step to the left, hugging that tight sideline for a pass that would come from Critta. And that little bit of room, just that extra step as the ball's just dropping that little bit more, he may have had a chance to catch it. Then maybe, there was a player coming across. He may have had to go for the corner or step back inside, etc. But yeah, let's go through a few chats, Michael, catch up a little bit, and then we can go into some more details.
They're expecting us to perform like we played in 2025 every game, guys. It's simply not happening. Timmy says, busy night at the precinct with Supernova and Giants game. Okay. There was a lot of emotion in the Titans game being old boys day and a minute silence for Tino's dad. Yeah, very good call, Tim. Is it true that we're potentially signing Casey McLean's brother? Yeah, I think that one probably happening, although I'm not sure where it came from. I think it was a Fox release. So, yeah, maybe. Look, I don't think we'll be getting the brother either. I think he'll be locked up. Yeah, look, we'll get we might get this kid. He had a lot of talent. He was at one point the one they thought would be the one. But hopefully it's not a situation of the older brother. We got the older brother first with Christian Crichton, who was a solid enough winger, but and someone we just sort of needed to get. We needed a signing, and he probably goes better in a better team.
We had a half brother too, didn't
we? Of Critta?
No, coaching the Tigers.
Who?
Who's coaching the Tigers? Didn't he have a half brother that played?
Oh yeah, Jeremy Marshall King. Yeah, there you go. Well, I'll tell you what, I always liked JMK. I always loved him.
He just before he left us, he started to hit his straps.
Yeah, well, it's hard work to be a hooker and start, and he used to run from dummy half, but he used to break down trying to do it.
Yeah, and he's still breaking down. He's still breaking down.
And earning more than Reed Marnie now. So there you go. What's the thoughts on signing Lussick? Well, I've done a big article on dogfathermedia.com.au. Go check it out on articles. But basically, Lussick, in my opinion, and no disrespect to Jake Turpin, but with the amount of injuries he's had, I think he'll probably finalise his tenure with the Bulldogs this season. Young Jakey, who's a great clubman as well. And I believe Freddie Lussick replaces him in our depth. And we have Gordon joining the top 30 next year. We're supposed to. We'll see if that pans out. You've also got Patrick Young, who may get another deal as well. Very good attacking player and with some versatility. Can sort of play anywhere in the back line. Has done before. So look, Lussick is a similar sort of player to Jake Turpin. Doesn't run much, doesn't kick. Can kick. He's done it a couple of times. Turpin kicked at the start of his career, but then stopped. But rarely runs the ball. Pass good off the deck. Tackles 95%. Gets his body in there. He's only young, 25, so fits in with a lot of the age group in our team, and I believe could start some games, could play off the bench in some games, and that's what you got to do. You sort of got to rotate your hookers through and toughen them up and get them through, get them going. He could be the guy who starts and becomes a long-term hooker at the Bulldogs. Like, that'll be the intent for him. And I'm sure that if he shows good form for us and fits into our system, that I believe at a price between $300,000 and $400,000 a season would offer us good value as a good partner for a Bailey Hayward and for some of the other young guys coming through. And obviously Hayward's got that versatility as well, if required. Timmy, there were Carlton fans run into. Should have expected at least 20,000 at the game. Well, that was the thing with the Giants coming in, was them taking away people from the rugby league. But yeah, I can't use that as an excuse.
I don't think so, mate. It might be a handful. That's it. Not many.
It was one of the greatest 40-20s, not Tracy's fault. Sometimes it's just too good. Yeah.
Yeah.
On your D, great clip. Some appreciation from Maddie for D's clip. We have a winning record with Carrez in our side, interestingly. Of course we do. Timmy supporting D's and same with James. So there you go, bro. Lots of recognition and deservedly so. Timmy says, when coming down to crunching the numbers, we may need to improve our differential to make the 8. Well, if we keep winning, we can make the top 4. So, and we will start to, if we can get some confidence, we will.
It'll take care of itself. It'll take care of itself. Yeah.
But it is going to be a tough run home. There's a lot of tough games towards the back end of the season for us. We can probably lose. If we lose 4 more games, the other victories need to be big ones, the way it's panning out. So you're right in that regard. But if we can reduce those losses to, say, 1 or 2 games over the remainder of the year, which is going to be very, very difficult to do, obviously. For us, it's going to be hard to win 6 games. That's just the reality of where we're at. If we can get some players on the field and we can get some confidence and start getting combinations together, maybe we can have a real say in what happens in this competition. We know that this team at their best have the confidence to know that they can beat some good sides, which has been sort of the problem. They were able to overcome and assert dominance over some teams that weren't too good, who are now improved and are now better. I even think the Dragons are better than they were last year, even though they've only won 1 game. No one will agree with that, but that's a reality. I think the competition is harder this year. I think there's more equality in the teams. It gets more equal on paper every year, and with a lot of players leaving and stuff, and with the amount of injuries that are happening to teams, I just think it's a lot of players have got experience over the last few years with more injuries as well, which is more opportunity, means greater depth, yada yada yada. So yeah, look, I just think it's there's a lot in that. Good defensive game, says Heinzie. Yeah, look, I was sad that they scored that. Yeah, really bad timing. We held out. We had to hold on for some sets there. Like they were throwing a lot at us.
Yeah, that was the set after they stripped Carraz.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, see, that was a massive moment.
Yep.
And he would have been so angry that Carraz was fair yesterday. And look, I think it was he doesn't trust Tuala on that third try to even things up. Probably with his injury as well, bit of that, but that combination will get better and better. I need my own gong button for Gaz. Is that well, evening, brothers? Good win against the top 4 team. I can see we're getting our best defense mojo that the Dogs are known for. We go again against the Titans, up the Dogs. Well, and Sitili have been our best all year. Great call, Gas. And Serrato said the same thing as well. Stop pressing shit. Was I pressing stuff and it was cutting in, was it? Cherry said that Cherry was out of form or down on confidence, hence selecting Burton at centre, Critta at 5'8". I don't think he said they were out. He was out of form or down on confidence. I think he might have. I didn't. That's not what I took from it. I took from it that he's come back into the team. I think Gas summed it up well. And he had some good moments, but probably had some poor moments as well. I think Cameron Serrato, listening to you guys, he must be watching. Well, Heinz, it's funny, we were talking about that today, how we've got an ESP link into what Serrato does. Gastrodamus. Ciro did also say that Cherry took the news well going back to the bench. He certainly did. Would you have Curran starting if Sitili's ruled out? I know when Curran came, he provided some energy on the edge.
Curran's been playing well.
He's been in our best 3 player, let's say best 4 players for the last 3 weeks. His energy, his defensive contact. He wants to be involved, especially defensively. Salmon had a couple of good runs yesterday too, actually, some timely ones. But yeah, look, I think Sitili could start on an edge. So, I mean, Curran could start on the edge and play back row.
All depends on Presto as well. So Presto's still a chance to play this week. Whether they take the chance to play him, leading up to a bye, that's going to be. I reckon if Sitili had not been injured, hypothetically, and they were happy with where they were, and he wasn't fully ready or could be rested, then they would have. But this may force their hand if he's able to play, because it's a hand, it's a break. Like, it's not like a soft tissue, etc. Like, it's a hand. So usually those soft tissues, they need extra weeks, etc. But he might put on the big Mal Meninga arm guard or something additional to it. Who knows? As long as he's got the strength in his hand to make the tackles and grip the ball, etc. Generally, on a broken hand, he can get away with it. So, but yeah, hope that'll come down to late in the week, guys. I know we're playing on Friday, but that'll come down to late in the week before whatever they name. Don't look at it. If they put Presto on the bench or something like that, then start looking at that as a they're going to see how he goes leading up into the week, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, if he's in the 23, I think Preston plays.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, otherwise it'll be probably Logan Spinks, like in the squad.
Yeah,
after his hat trick today.
G'day, Ryan. Evening. I was sat behind Kevin Proctor at Origin 2. Disappeared after halftime for a vape, I assume. I think Curran came to play middle, sorry. Looks like Fogarty's 2 from 9. Oh, there you go. 2 from 9 attempts. Is that for this year or that's in his life?
Not sure. Could be. Yeah, I
swear he had 4 in one game in a semi versus the Sharks, which they lost.
Yeah.
Maybe 2024. G'day, Don. I'd love to
Go back.
think that.
Go back up to that last one.
Oh, sorry, Matty. Coaches who listen to fans will soon become one.
All I can say, Matty, is if he's listening to us, we're just an extension of the coaching team, mate. That's how I look at it. So we're not fans, okay?
Well, look, we watch the patterns, we watch how they do things, and we make accurate predictions based off it, like without any of the emotion. And not all the stuff that we think is going to happen is what we would personally do ourselves.
There's a lot of things we don't see, obviously, that they see that they make the decisions on as well. So,
and we assume that. See,
correct.
That's the thing. We're like, oh, they've been making this decision. Well, there's no reason they're going to change it. You know, they've been doing. This is what they've been doing. The only thing that will change it is generally injuries or somebody's ascending to a point where they can't be denied anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, fans think that point is sometimes 12 months before it's actually anywhere happening. Just give the kid a run. Just give him a run. Look, we used to say that all the time. It's a normal rugby league thing. Give the kids a run. You got nothing to lose except their confidence. And the fact that 2 or 3 bad games, and you know look, even Renekama, I remember, because he couldn't catch someone one day, so he's slow. That means straight away he's slow. Well, he didn't lose too much ground on Saab, and then got back to him as Harry Hayes got him.
Yep, correct.
And that's also a fitness thing too, for a young guy who's played a year above himself every time, and every time he sort of goes into a grade, he stays there. Like, he doesn't regress and go backwards.
Well, that was the first game he played yesterday where he didn't cramp up towards the end there, like he has been, you know, when he's been starting off again. So, that means his fitness is getting a lot better. So that's good.
Good sign. Ciro keeps the same team. He is stubborn and won't listen. He makes a change and he's confusing the team. Love how the bloke can't win. That's right. Or he's tinkering. It's for someone who's stubborn and doesn't change teams. He tinkers a lot from the same fans. He's always tinkering. No,
it's still very disappointing to see the amount of negativity in comments, guys. And I'm sure you're all seeing it out there in different socials. You won't see it on our pages, but it's, you know, obviously we're all probably, you know, linked to a lot of different sites, and I've been laughing at some of these ones. It's just crazy how people are still, you know, always in denial about anything that happens. Like, they expect, you know, and I said it a couple of times. I've said it, you know, everybody's expecting perfection in the games that we play, when they can't even deliver that perfection in their own life, but they expect the team to play perfect, and they criticize every mistake, everything, and why we haven't belted teams, you know, out into submission. Why have we just got a win? Why was it an ugly win? Why was it? People are never satisfied with anything because it doesn't suit whatever they're trying to push or whatever they're trying to justify. And the amount of comments that were made during the game that people left on there and had egg on their faces later because they were criticizing decisions and plays and calling coaches to be sacked and all sorts of things, even last night's game. And then after the game, people were like, you know, that aged well. The amount of those ones across the board was just disappointing, guys. You know, that's not how you support your team, guys. That's not how you support your team.
We go on about it every week, and I know it sometimes gets boring, guys, but we're going to keep spreading the message.
Yeah.
Be better. You can. There's people who are now part of this community who never used to think twice about it. You know, just get on there and rattle off your fucking emotions.
Yep.
And then waste 74 hours in the week arguing with people. Now, I still do that a little bit, but it's very targeted because there's people who are out there consistently saying the same thing, the same message, trying to tarnish the club and the team, trying to destabilize the club for their own ego and their own whatever it is. And I'll just keep I'll keep going against those people. And it's not a personal thing. But what you find when you break it down is that they talk, a lot of them talk about juniors and they don't watch them. They talk about certain players in the team and who should start where, or then if they're a certain size, they're not good enough. There's all this sort of stuff that they talk about. And, they don't get it. And sometimes they're right. Sometimes I agree with them as well on certain things, but it's the way that they go about it and what they're trying to push. And sometimes those people then get a bit of a following because it's like, yeah, we're fucking shit. Yeah. It's like chanting to make yourself feel better because you can't win like a man or lose like a man. You start after fucking chanting and being happy about that we're losing because you think we need to go in a different direction with something. It's like, fuck me. Like they just don't stop, Gas. They just don't stop. And then you get fuckwits on some of the other channels who embrace that shit because it helps their algorithm.
The media is not helping because they're supporting these negative fans. And like I've said before, it's a vicious cycle. One person says it, they pick it up, they say it, it spreads around, it goes back in, it just goes in a full circle constantly, and everyone's just, their ego's boosted because it's been spoken about on one side and then spoken about on the other side.
That's right. Well, that's how I explain it.
We're feeding the narrative every time. The media is doing it, and they'll do it again this week. You watch. They'll go into this long thing now about Birdo and Critta, and they'll forget about Canberras and forget about all these other things. They'll focus on these things, and then everyone will start going, oh, because I'm still reading about.
I could see
Sexton and Marnie not being there, and that we haven't been the same team since.
Brave's going to ask Brent. Brave's going to ask Brent Reid. He's going to go. So that must be an admission that Burton's not getting $1 million. He's going to be paid centre money. So where's he going to get?
Yeah,
and Brent Reid. He'll be gone. He'll be going. He'll be able to get a. There's no way they're going to keep him. They need to keep Jacob Preston. So obviously this is a move. This was a move to make sure they got Critta who's on $1 million. So they're basically saying they'd rather play him in the halves to keep him for $1 million than to pay Burton $1 million as a centre. And they'll say that this is all linked to Preston. So they got to keep Preston. They're going to have to. That's why they've moved Burton out of the halves. And they'll link Galvin to it as well. Like they're all going to say that. People will come to that. That assumption anyway. I said, look, I did that article about the feedback loop.
Yeah,
I worked in that.
Right.
I worked for that organisation.
Yep.
I've talked about it for 3 or 4 years through NRL Media Watch and all that sort of stuff.
Correct. Yes.
It pays for the players to play the game at the end of the day. So there's a reason why there's Gus Gould, big Sydney club, all these cop-outs. Oh, but we're a big Sydney club. No one cares about the Raiders. So it needs to stop because why would you want to go to the Bulldogs? As I said last week and every week, why would you want to come to the Bulldogs if you're going to be anytime we have bad injuries or have bad form and bad games, you're going to be a target in the media.
And your supporter base.
And your supporter base is going to feed it.
Yes.
So are you really going to want to play for some of these fans that are happy to take all the get all your signatures and take all the photographs when we're winning and tell everyone how great the players are, and then as soon as they have a few losses, they're sack these effing people. Look, we saw it with some of the pages, man. Some of the people that are in not just the Kennel podcast, but in the Kennel who've got big reach with what they do. If it's a win, they're happy as Larry. But if it's a lose, it's sack the coach and sack Gus. And you can just imagine what that narrative would have been. And see, this is probably what's hurt me a bit, is that I'm sitting there watching it win by a point, and we're all, our hearts are palpitating, and it's like, it's like relief more than elation half the time. I suppose when you're at the game and you get the field goal done, and it's elation, but then it's relief, and then it's, imagine if we lost this game just by a point, then like they'd be calling to sack the coach for making that swap, and it's just ridiculous. Now, Peyton's got his 2-year extension. The old 2-year extension curse.
The curse, yep. Tracy was solid. Silenced a lot of haters. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Matthew.
For a week. For a week.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I started to think maybe Berto had an injury when he didn't get a kick. I think they had a plan, guys. You know, when you make a change like that, you've got a plan. They go, you know what, we've got to stick to it. Critta, you've got to do the kicks, and even Galvin wasn't doing as many kicks. So whatever they had as a plan, they worked with. They said, Berto, you keep yourself fresh for your runs, etc., and go down that road. So whatever they did, it was a plan. They worked on it, and they wanted to execute. The only thing I will say is if Ciro wants to play more games with everyone, he can do one more thing. He can switch the numbers on Critta's back and Galvin's back. Put Galvin to 6 and put Critta to 7, because now everyone's saying, oh, you know, Berto's the best 5'8". Okay, that's fine. He's in the centers now. Critta's playing like a halfback. He's controlling the game. He's doing all the kicks. He's doing all that. All you do is switch the numbers around, and then you watch the frenzy again go. But if Ciraldo wants to keep playing games with the media, you know, Wayne Bennett's favourite move, then he'll that's one move he can make, and put Galvin at 6 just to silence a lot of people, and Critta plays at 7 and goes down that road. So don't discount that one day. G'day, Trent from Punchy. At this stage, the Dolphins have to be the Smokies. Yes.
Definitely Smokies, that's for sure.
Damo596. I like the Tuipulotu Carraz edge, seems promising. Both absolute competitors. And like Michael said, one of the big things is that, you know, Carraz and him need to have a lot of trust in defense there together. I think Carraz, knowing the player that, you know, that was coming, he probably thought he needed a bit of help there. But, yeah, he needed to trust his center there and stay on his winger. You know, those players have got too much speed to sort of push off one and go. He was gone. By the time that pass is gone, he's gone. Timmy, love listening to Berto's playlist at the game. Yes, Timmy. I think Cherry has a lot less to offer compared to the expectations. Look, it's a bit of a wake-up call for Cherry as well. Like, he needs to know that, you know, for what he's there for, what he has to do, you know, he has to keep evolving and developing and improving his game. He's still young. He's still got a lot of ability. We know that. I think he's put more focus defensively on his game than his full attacking prowess. Yeah, so there's still a lot of opportunities there. G'day, Joe Millennium. Great win. Nerve-wracking, yes, all of those wins. However, we still have the most outstanding #1 Golden Point record, 14 wins from 18 games, guys.
That's it.
That is unbelievable. So Harry is a gun. He keeps making those extra efforts. Yeah, like all those big, rangy front rowers, back rowers that have come from the back line still show that speed. And he's mobile, does the hard yards. And yesterday, you know, all of them were there covering each other. It was great to see. Great matchup between Jethro and Saab. Yeah, still, it's great learnings for Jethro. That's how I look at it. Every time he plays, he'll keep learning with the big boys. Latrell Fig or SOS.
Yeah, we'll go into that later.
Yep, no worries. Calm down, Timmy. Let's focus on the Manly game, buddy. Any news on when Mitch
wants to talk about everything all at once?
It's all right, Timmy, mate. We'll rein you in, mate. Mitch Woods, still no word yet from his 50th hamstring strain this year. Greg Alexander has a big agenda to try and turn fans against this squad. He praises the two blokes likely to move on, Berto and Cherry, and criticises everyone else. He normally always talks about even the ex-Panther players. He likes Berto, he likes Critta. He'll always defend his Panthers connections.
He defends the Panthers and he likes Cameron and he likes Gus. I'll tell you the thing, though. He does certain things like that for the cycle with his radio commitments and stuff like that. So they try to create their little, that's what Vossi does as well.
Yeah.
So they're trying to create their little headlines for their own shows and their talk back stuff. And so that's what they do. I don't think he's dead set against the whole squad, but look, Brandy Alexander was one of the most abrasive, arrogant, typical rugby league. If I used to go watch him in the 80s, you know, he'd treat the ball boys like shit. You know, he's you've seen him under pressure doing when he was the New South Wales selector and stuff with Laurie, and then with Fittler. Very abrasive. So he knows the game. He knows the game well, both sides, the media game and the rugby league game. So I don't think he's got a huge agenda against the Dogs. But he was a lot worse before we had those Penrith people come in. He was a lot worse.
Vossi's still borderline a lot worse than him, I think. Heinze saying our first time this year we've had back-to-back. I think round 1 and 3, technically, we had back-to-back in our 2 games, Dragons and Raiders. That was the other time.
Very similar results too.
Yep. Another potential combo between Galvin and Curran. Yes. Berto had a good defensive set at centre, and Critta was playing 5'8". It's a bit smart because the Panthers, he was good, but it looked like Critta was playing halfback. Yep. Abs, we've spoken about that a bit today, mate. So I think
he's definitely was a more controlled performance from Critta. He was trying to play a controlled. They had some plans the way they wanted to do things. You can see they did that. There wasn't much eyes up footy as far as he was concerned. And I think that's something that you'll see him evolve a bit later on. And Galvin basically was the 6th last night. Look, Galvin had 10 more touches than Critta. So I've got that up there on the screen. So this is a good leeway because we need to do some of the statistics and stuff. But I sort of was saying Matt Burton needed to get, as the 5'8", needed to be getting between 55 and 60 possessions. He had 63 receipts, Crichton. So right what was sort of needed, and Lockie had 69. So it was a lot closer in what they were doing. Jamin Salmon, no involvement there in that part of the game. Bailey Hayward, 135 possessions mainly from dummy half. Connor Tracy, 44, was up a little bit, but that's sort of where he hovers. Jacob Carraz down about 10 possessions on what he had the previous week, and he had about 10 extra the week before that. So a little bit less involvement from Jacob, but I could see he got involved a couple of times. So that's mainly where it was at. Jethro, 24 hit-ups. Jacob, 26. So good sharing in that. Anari, 17. And Matty Burton, 20. 28 receipts. So you got a lot of ball. Some from dummy half. We'll go through the meters.
And congrats to Connor Tracy for running the second most meters by a Bulldog all time.
322. I thought it was 307 at the end of the game, so it's gone up a little bit. I wonder who had the most. Probably Jacob, was it? Sure, he's had a 300-meter game. I know Crichton had 2 300-meter games
with Panthers.
With the Panthers at fullback. So 6 runs for 26 meters, 22 for 155, 31 runs for 300. That's 10 meters a hit. 146 of those were kick return meters, 2 line breaks, 2 tackle breaks, playing the ball quick, 2 offloads, 4 tackles and 1 missed, 4 diffused kicks, 2 handling errors. A great game, and he was our man of the match, in my opinion, through his consistency and return to the scene of the crime where he had his best game in 2025 before getting injured.
No, well, that was at Allianz.
Oh, I mean, as
Yeah.
the opposition. Yeah.
Yes.
Anari, another strong game. A couple of errors after making breaks and stuff, but he's become a real weapon for us.
I think one of them could have been challenged. I think I saw someone punch that ball out, but the problem was, even if he did punch it out, it went back towards them. They would have still got the ball, I reckon. But it wasn't a lost ball. I know he didn't challenge it, but he could have, and I reckon he would have, been proven right. It wasn't just a loose carry. Player jumped. I think it was Brooks might have jumped over the top and punched the ball out of his hands when he was on the ground.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And typically, we make the referee look at something that they weren't going to look at, and then it goes against us.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
With him being offside and involved in the play. I thought he was marginally about the same offside as what the player, Jerome Luai and Taruva was offside off that kick.
But once again, he's beating the first tackle every time when he's running the ball. He's just so elusive to Tuala.
6 tackle breaks, which would be a leading for the team for the day. 3 points and quick play the ball, 3.14 seconds, which is fantastic. Maxi King, 3 second play the balls. Leo got smashed a few times, but as I said, he's taken energy out of that defense and his work rate. How many minutes did he play? 70 again?
It was pretty close. I think it was 69, I think.
69 minutes. Max King, 44. The young fellas, Jack and AJ, only 17 and 14. AJ had a knock on, but
he looked like he was trying to get it out, actually. He was trying to offload it, if you look at it.
I think he was turning, but they had their hands all over it.
Yeah. He was trying to. It wasn't a straightforward loose carry, but he was trying to promote it back. That's all. But it was his first run. He get it, tuck it in, take your first run, and then start again. Get the
contact. It wasn't his first, that was his second or third run when that happened. He had a couple of good runs. Unless he had 2 errors. No, he only had 1. But I'll just say that with a disclaimer because I had issues with the stream yesterday and went back and forward in the game and had to go rewatch it again and stuff. So, but I thought some of his runs were good, but I think they just went back to the fact that, and that's what it's like in a game like that. They can sit there and say, because we've got Leo Thompson now, we can put Maxi back on. We can put our trusted players on. I felt Jack and AJ played with good intent and good intensity for the time that they were on the field. They definitely made a contribution, but yeah.
And we used I think because you get an extra change for the golden point, and we had to use it for Sitili because we'd used up our 8. We used up our 8 as well, so we ended up using 9.
Yeah, I saw that on the team stat. Yeah.
I think defensively you'll find I think Berto might have made more tackles than Critta in the centres yesterday.
Yeah, he made 24. Critta made 21. Critta made some good tackles though. On Hamali, I think. But that's what I mean. With that shoulder, he can sort of practice. They're working together out there. He's one further in. And he's probably got more control on where he makes those tackles. Whereas when he's taking the hit ups, people can line up his shoulder and work his shoulder and do all that sort of grubby shit that they do. You saw there was I've got to go back and watch it, but there was someone playing with the fucking calf. I think he was ripping at Carrazza's calf. I heard the crowd boo and stuff. I can't remember the play, but there was definitely a play where I felt it was slowing the ball down. It might have been Carrez or it was someone. Sorry, a little bit sketchy after yesterday. Very tired day. My son's gone back to the Navy today as well, so a little bit melancholy. I'm proud at the same time.
All the best.
Yeah. Bailey, 45 tackles, 4 missed tackles. Again, leading the tackle count for the team and missing less tackles than Marnie. I know he doesn't dump people on their ass, but sometimes that's overrated, guys. Ineffective tackles. We won that stat, and we are still the number 1 team for the least amount of ineffective tackles in the comp, which is a stat we were near the bottom of for the previous 2 years.
The other thing is we had 25 missed tackles by half time, but we finished the game with 34 missed tackles. So
that was
good
good
effort
second
there.
half.
Good effort there.
Yeah. Look, the last 4 weeks, we've been averaging, 3 tries conceded. So we're conceding 1 less try. Probably needed to be scoring that 1 more try, and then we become a much better side. Then we start conceding 2 tries a game again and scoring 4 tries, and that's where we peg back this difference in our for and against. But for that to happen, look, I think there was some good stuff with the attack. I think there was some mistakes with the defense, but the scramble saved us, as we said. I think Gas was saying today, we're wondering how many questions we're going to get asked about, Alex Comte dominating in New South Wales Cup this week. He wasn't there.
Timmy did say, though, he's saying here that we've got the best defense of the teams outside the 8, which is going to be natural for us.
We're 8th.
There you go.
So we're 8th in defense. We were 14th or 15th only about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So we've definitely stopped a lot of the rot. And that needs to continue. And getting wins is the best way for that to continue.
Yeah. And look, and I think we're not far away, guys. Like, you're watching them play, and I'm seeing them really start to become that little bit more flair, a little bit more attack, a little bit more go. It's starting to come. It's just hasn't clicked properly. But I will say one thing yesterday. For the first time in a long time, we finally had some bounces go our way and some luck. There was that chip that they had down in the corner. 3 of their players coming through, the ball bounced sideways and went to Tuala. We normally, leading up in this season, we would have had 3 of our players that would have bounced to their player. That's how it would have been the reverse. That's how we've been having it all year, guys. And if you've watched them closely, we've not got those 50-50 calls. We've not got those, luck of the draw things, the bounce of the ball. It's just everything's gone against us. So it's about time that we actually got some of those, because they make a difference, guys. It's worked against us and it's cost us games. It needs to go. It needs to even out sometimes. It just needs to go both ways. And you just can't. And I think our guys haven't dealt with it very well. Their head's gone down too quick sometimes. And by the time they've got their head back on, they're already 16 points behind, chasing and not pulling the teams back in. So, Sitili did cop an injury. I think he'd done his hammy in the golden point when they made that break. And he passed the ball. He grabbed for it straight away and came straight off in the golden point. So, Timmy, Spinks is knocking on the door. That's correct. Fogarty was so shocking he couldn't kick a cat in the guts. Lower at the soccer, Timmy. Our attack is second last, only superior to the Dragons. My question is, do you think this is a reflection of our recruitment or coaching?
No. That's not a question. Sorry to answer it like that, brother. Or sister. That's not the right question. Our attack is definitely is a number of things. A lot of the way that we've attacked over the last few years has been through role players and playing to our strengths. It hasn't been through halves managing great elite attacking plays and having forwards that knock down the door consistently that then allow you to, create extra numbers in the line and stuff. We've had to execute a lot of stuff immaculately. We had deception in our kicking game. So what I said last week is we've lost a lot of that ability to kick, and that comes down to probably not having developed the players yet that have that electric speed and also the ability to do everything else well as elite NRL footballers. So for me, it's not about recruitment. Recruitment it's such a long answer. People don't want to go down that path, but that's just the fact. We've got good players in our team, but we don't have the balance of players that of great experience halves that manage everything and an elite speed on the edges and stuff like that. We just haven't got it. We've had to get players that have got that work ethic mentality that fit the Bulldogs culture and mold. We've put defence as our priority. Now they go and change the rules and speed everything up and change the way things are happening. And that takes some getting used to. So we can say recruitment, we can say this, that, and the other. But there's also been a lot that's happened, like Josh Adokar probably still at the club if that situation doesn't happen. Potentially may have been let go as well. You don't know. A lot of our attack goes through our edge back rowers, as we've seen, and that's continued to happen. They've had to develop new combinations with new players. So, Toby Sexton and Marnie, Marnie used to try and get some try assists and stuff from dummy half. In 2023 or 24, I think he was in the top. I think he was the number one hooker for try assists. By 2025, he didn't have that many at all. And he sort of wanted to be a more of a dominant attacking sort of player. Whereas we're trying to build a team where the halves do manage things, but that takes time. And it also takes time to develop these players underneath and get them ready. And sometimes the kids that you do get ready with 60 new roster spots opening, we see Jope Rauch. There's news that he's going to follow John O'Sura and Curran and Sexton and Smith over to the Perth Bears. And he just played Origin for under 19s on the weekend.
Scored a try.
Played pretty well. Sort of been in and out of Ron Massey, Jersey Flegg. Played SG ball this year. But the thing is with him, is he going to be coming into our top 30 next year? Probably not, but I'd say he's probably getting a top 30 spot at Perth, whereas he hasn't probably earned that with us yet. The other young guy who played for the Bulldogs, just to talk about depth and that sort of thing, we had Alamotti represent at that level. Mitch Woods is represented at that level. Now, we all saw what happened with Alamotti. Fans turned on him. His manager tried to get a bit more money and bite a bit more than you can chew, sort of thing. And it didn't work out. Gets a 1-year deal at the Panthers. Great deal for them. And then putting elite young talent with an elite team, you see what you get. So it's a long answer, but look, this stuff about blaming, thank you, Rhett, as always, this stuff about blaming, is it recruitment or is it this or is it that? No, there's so many things that come down to it. It's rugby league. It's managing a business. It's managing a football club. And I think that where we were and when we are is so much better. That we are producing talent that is being bought from other clubs and is hard to hold on to. Now, it was already hard to hold on to that talent when we were struggling because if we didn't let them play and didn't sign them up to more than what they probably would have got at other clubs, they wouldn't stay. So we had to pay more to keep some of them. And there was ones that were loyal to, like there's ones that are loyal to the core and that would sell their left kidney to play for the Bulldogs and never play anywhere else. Like we do have those players in our juniors, but some of them aren't up to it yet and may never be. But there's ones that will be, and the club might not see it and they'll go somewhere else and succeed. Or there's players that wouldn't have succeeded in our system, but will mature differently at another club, maybe find their niche at another club. And there's players will get the red carpet rolled out to them at another club. Their managers will take them there, and then they'll find themselves nowhere, getting nothing. And that's happening right now, right? And it's not just the kids you hear about either, guys. There's so much talent that they assemble. And look, it's hard for them. It's hard for them when they see the Latus and the Galvins and that come in straight to the top 30. They don't like it. But we have to build. It is iron sharpens iron. You have to have the best of the best and take those opportunities when you get them. And that's it. And sometimes those don't work out either. But it's all easy to blame in hindsight. I just rather do it a different way. I just rather go, okay, well, we got that wrong or we got that right. But the way I see it for our attack, our attack's evolving. They're evolving from playing everything through our second rowers, which is quite funny because, at the start of the year, Braith comes on and goes, oh, they need to use their second rowers more. And it's like fucking most of our number one try scorer was our second rower. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
How much more can you use your second rower? Right? Like, shut STFU. So it's, Toby Sexton just passing the ball early against teams that were all bottom four. As we said, we had the kick for the Fox. Look, how many tries did Josh Curran score from kicks in the first couple of years? Would have been 5 tries at least. All these things sort of aren't happening at the moment. Our passing has struggled this year. So is it coaching or recruitment? It's execution, in my opinion. It's execution. And then you got injuries, and then you got people that are leaving the club. It's everything that comes back to all of that. It's like, okay, we've got to sign these people on 2-year deals. They do the best they can, signing people on the best deals that they can. And sometimes it all hits you in the face at once, and sometimes you just got to take a step back to ride it out and get it happening again. But where we come from, I'll say this every week if I have to, from paying players for using $3 million or $4 million of our salary cap for players to play at other clubs. When you're walking into that mess, that's not fixable in 2 years, even if you turn the whole roster over. It's not fixable. You just slowly fix this foundation, slowly fix another one, and then get those juniors coming through and hopefully get enough of them performing and happy with the joint that they're like, yeah, I'll stay for a little bit less money. And then if they can do that, that enables you to keep the Jacob Prestons and stuff. But if you've got other clubs offering one of our talented juniors $250,000 a season on a 3-year deal, and we're sort of like, we can't match that. And they're like, okay, see ya. We can pay you $150 or we can pay you $180 or something for 2 years because, we want to keep you hungry. And when, we see your potential, but you've got to prove it on the field sort of thing. They're not going to, they can't stay, it's for those young kids. And you've also got the situations of the kids as well, or all individuals. Some of them are supporting their paycheck goes a long way to their families and stuff. There's different stuff happening all throughout. So look, it's a long answer, probably boring, and I've said a lot of the time. But yeah, I just think we just can be a little bit more. I just think we can be a little bit. Stop buying into this media bullshit, because that's what that question is. It's basically saying it's either this or it's that, and it's a simple thing when it's not. Because if it was fucking that simple, every team would be coming first and no team would be coming last. Sorry, mate.
You're right. Bit too premature there, Abs.
Sorry, Abs. That's not 555, is it? Is Montoya injured? Yeah, he's got a knee injury, mate. I heard him say something about that on the podcast. And he's retiring. So big shout out to Montoya too. Probably should have said something.
Yep. Thoughts on Critta to fullback? Top 8 is close. Feel like the Dogs will go on a 6-game streak, then probably lose to Storm, Roosters, and Penrith. The last game against the Broncos will determine the top 8 for both teams.
Nah, we're going to beat the Storm and the Roosters, mate. Don't you worry about that. And then we're going to smash the Panthers and beat the Broncos by 50. You've heard it.
I would love to think Birdo going to centre also has something to do with him re-signing for centre money. Too early to worry about. Sam, I hope you were on the show earlier, mate. We spoke about that. So when you got some time, mate, you can go back and have a look at that as well. It's toxic to see the negativity of supporting the positive, both always. Thanks, Timmy. Present company accepted. NRL fans aren't known for their intelligence. Yeah. Our fans are the worst. They have little faith and can't wait to criticize. Yeah, even yesterday, like I said, during the games, they were smashing us. People need to support the team without negativity. That would be nice in a perfect world, mate. Exactly why I love this podcast. Thank you, mate.
Matty.
Thank you all.
GD Dougie's fans.
Timmy's got our back. Thanks, Timmy. We got yours too, buddy. Birdo had a good defensive sets because he was centre, and that's why Critta was kicking because he was 5'8". Thanks, mate. It's the same people that said, Paul Alamotti was shit. Now they're saying he could. Why did we let him go?
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
We won the game, buddy. Relax. People need to remember where Gus has taken this club from and to. 4 years ago, we weren't expected to win games. Now we are. Yes, Matty, I agree.
That's it.
Critta played more like a halfback. Yeah, we've spoken about that quite a few times already. That's right. He did. Thanks, Heinzie. Do you think Critta at 6 is long-term move, or will Condi get a look at the halves?
They're good questions, brother. Look, I don't think it's... Look, I've always said that Critta on the money he's on needs to be part of the spine.
More influential.
More influential, but really, I think Birdo's I agree with the commentators. I think Birdo's a better passer of the ball, better kicker of the ball. But I think that Critta showed a lot of execution of what he wanted to do yesterday, even if some of it, like there was this little stab kick that went nowhere. There was 2 kicks that were really poor. I felt there was a lot of good ones. They had good hang time. They did the job. And we have to be a team that doesn't rely on kicking our way out of trouble every week. You can't be the finished product if you're doing that, because it really negates the effectiveness of your consistency, I think. And I think that's a little bit in it as well. Like Matty, if he doesn't have to do that kick and he can just run and have some fun and and influence the scoreboard in other ways. But I also do agree that I'd prefer him in 6. Let's keep going. What's the next one?
Okay.
Our Conti leaped ahead of Woods. Conti is ahead of Woods for sure because Woods
He's
is
still not on the
injured.
field. Hasn't played this year, yeah.
Mm.
Given our record, should we try to take every point to golden point every game? That would be good. I'd be more confident if it was.
Yep.
Everyone's giving big raps on Critta, but I think our best was Tracy. Yes, as we said, he was the player of the match. He had a huge game after copying weeks of flack. Good to see him bounce back. Thanks, old fella Dave.
Agreed, Dave. Thank you.
He ran forever. Yeah, thanks, Timmy. If Jamal Fogarty didn't miss his kicks, they win. But in saying that, our mistakes stopped us scoring more.
Welcome, James.
Hey, buddy. It's a powerful edge once Twilight and Carres get comfortable playing on the same side. Yes. AJ's knock-on should have been our penalty.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say too, Brian. I felt Pasika's hands were all over that ball, and it was a bit of a gang. And you saw they hit Jack Underhill high. Nothing was done about that.
Well, that was shot off the kickoff after the try, and he got shouldered in the head, and he didn't get
Nothing.
the same as what happened to King against Penrith, and he didn't get nothing at all. He came out reeling, and you can see he had a bloody eye.
Yeah, it hurt.
Thompson, yeah, you love the 69 minutes. That's it.
Me too,
Do
brother.
you go for 69 minutes?
It was actually 70 minutes in the thing, and they've brought it back to 69 just to make it sound sexier.
Just somebody counted. They didn't count the foreplay. I thought we regained possession after Brooks punched the ball out of Tuala's hands. So we should have gotten a tackle count reset instead of Manly getting, could have been,
right. They knock it out backwards. And then, Brooks just smashes it down. Play on.
Based on Carraz, he said that Tommy Turbo's studs cut his leg. That's why he was limping around. He needed some stitches. There you go. Yep. I was glad to see Galvin get that try. Will do his confidence the world of good. Yeah. He did 2 good things in that set. Obviously, he did the run out of dummy half to get us on the front foot. And then that try that he scored was Sitili. Sitili running next to him just created that doubt. This is the thing that we've been talking about, having that support play. Why we talk about putting kicks in, all these things that create something away from just the standard straight up that you see. So that was well done there. Galvin just knew the moment to just basically run and show and go. So that was awesome. Great win, guys. Good day, British Bulldog. Great character after conceding 2 tries early. Tracy getting back on track. And Galvin showed some real class for his try, 100%. And look, guys, even when we spoke about Curran before, it's amazing now the consistency he's got when he's overcome his injury as well. So don't take – a lot of people keep talking about, if Critta's injured, rest him. If this is rest him, don't play him. Guys, majority of the NRL now are playing injured guys. Just accept it. No one is perfectly, fully functioning fit at this time of the season. Everyone's got some niggle to deal with. If you're up for it, if you're good enough, you're the captain, you're getting paid the money, you want to be out there, you're out there. So it's not that easy, guys. Just rest this guy and rest that guy if they can still go. So our attack hasn't clicked due to injuries. The players haven't had the proper opportunities to click as a full strength squad. And look, our best attacking weapons, guys, our 2 second rowers, both, I call them international class, one plays for Fiji and the other one was on the tour last year for Australia, even though he didn't get a start. But they are class players, and like Michael said, Presto was our leading try scorer last year and was scoring tries this year, hitting some good lines, etc., and setting up plays. So, look at that game he played against Penrith this year. So definitely we've lost a lot of attacking weapons and kick-outs offload. You put that together with Carraz's offload, and we've already got one of the top offload counts in the NRL. It gives you a lot of second phase play. Even Vossi was mentioning yesterday, I think on the call when I watched the game back, on the drive home, he was talking about how the Dogs love to do something with the offloads and go at least 2 passes and try to make something happen. So,
So look, guys, like a lot of people are hanging shit on Galvin. He's not a halfback in that, but statistically, he's got 5 tries, 17 forced dropped outs, 7 try assists, 13 line break assists, 8 offloads, and tackling at 91.2% efficiency at 120 metres. Now, Fogarty, 4 tries, which is a lot for him, 7 forced dropouts, 11 try assists versus 7 try assists, and they've scored a lot more points. He only tackles at 87%. He's not had an offload. He averages 57 metres, 400 metres in kicks. Galvin's averaging 300 metres in kicks.
and running meters.
Running metres, 120 running metres.
Mm.
So people say, oh, he's the worst halfback in the comp. Well, he's better than Fogarty. And let's look at him as a Luke Brooks. He scored only 2 tries. He's forced 1 dropout. He's got 7 try assists, 8 line break assists. Galvin's got 13 line break assists. He's got 9 offloads as well, Brooks. He only tackles at 84% and makes 83 metres. So Galvin's outperforming both the Manly halves.
Yep.
We just got to look. I know stats aren't everything either, and it comes and I would suggest that the Brooks and Fogarty on most games are throwing better passes more consistently with their passes and getting the balls to where they need to get to and stuff like that. Like, I'm not denying any of that stuff, but as an individual, if you want to look at his stats, he's going pretty good for a young gun. He's now got 58 games, and it won't be long before this kid will have 100 and then go on to make 200. He's doing well. The Dogs have got a player there, and, we've just got to get all our players on deck on the run home and just get that cohesion happening. And I think this side can, as Gas said a few weeks ago, be the side that nobody wants to play leading into the finals and at the finals. Who's up next?
Timmy, some thank you from Rhett. I feel bad for Turpin. Love his hustle and defence, but unfortunately we aren't keeping him after the Lussick signing.
That's it, Matty.
James, Mick's making too much sense with this yarn. Stop it, Mick.
I don't think he's actually saying that, but anyway.
Okay. I think Tedesco walked away from tonight's game with a broken nose. That's all right.
Awesome.
Shiraz is going to need armor on that leg. It's copying a battering. Maybe they can start wearing shin pads like the soccer players. Hannibal Lecter bandage. Yeah, there's a few players sporting those in some of the teams out there. Jethro,
yes,
dropped the ball
Brian.
near the end and should have been a high shot penalty too.
Yep.
Yes, they came out with mitigating circumstances. Like just every other high shot, but yeah, that hit him in the head first. Like that, I've seen those ones given penalties. There was games where they were giving penalties and it was 2 points because he contacted the head. So most consistent players this year: Tuala, Galvin, and Sitili.
Yeah, I'm just about to go there, James. New South Wales, and yeah, great shout out, mate. Tuala, Galvin, and Sitili definitely in our top 5, and
right.
potentially the top 3.
Let's have a look at this second half that we played. We were down at halftime, guys. Down at halftime. Let's see what we did in the second half. Playing in Christchurch today, guys, undercover in this new stadium, in the game leading up to the Warriors and Cowboys game. Calm down, mate. Calm down. He's injured, man. Calm down. Jethro's, give him some time, mate. He's all right. He's got a lot to offer. Be good for someone to look up all the halfbacks in the game stats, where they were at 20 to see if Galvin was better. I bet you he was better too, mate. You're right.
Very good.
And on another thing, while Michael's bringing those stats up, Ron Massey, guys, yesterday, the team was down 36-12 with 12 minutes to go and scored 4 converted tries in the last 12 minutes to snatch a 36-all draw.
Zane
great.
Alameddine got it in his first Ron Massey Cup game. He come from SG Ball.
Yep.
3 or 4 tries.
Beautiful.
And we got to ask the question about the young Corey Ackers from the Dragons. He played a good game yesterday for the Bulldogs. Thank you, Matty. Like and subscribe. And Rhett's kicked off our next draw. Sean won the last one. I'm still working out a prize for that. For those in the Dogfather Cartel, sending out some gifts to you guys. Sean should get his shortly.
Yeah, yours is on the way, Sean. So should hopefully arrive by the latest midweek.
There you go. And that your flag as well as just a little bit of Bulldogs team store merch, able to get at a really good price. For those in the cartel.
Your signed flag by Carraz, mate.
And look, I don't just give it to you if you just join the cartel. It's like if you've been, for those people who've been obviously contributing over a long time and have upgraded to that. I just want to always give back. And it's not about making money here. It's about our community and you guys helping me be able to, pay these bills of running this show that I've done for a long time. And, getting a little bit back to you guys. But let's get into the New South Wales Cup. 44-16 after being down at half-time at 16-12. Jack Cleary scored early. Sorry, Jai Lanane scored early. Jason Salililo and Jai Lanane got his second. Pretty fast on that edge. Here's Jai. Gordon got one from dummy half after some good sustained pressure. Louis Grissemi, a beautiful ball for him to score. Sean O'Sullivan did throw some good passes on the weekend, I must say. Some good short balls. Jonathan Suar got an intercept. He ended up with 3 tries. Logan Spinks with 2. Although I think they said he got a triple at some point, but maybe I just got that mixed up.
Some was saying that they've got it wrong here. I don't know. I didn't see it, so it's a bit of both ways.
Yeah, I thought he got a triple, yeah. Nico Mealy finished off a nice move. But see, playing our edge back rowers, scoring 3 or 4 tries between them. Zion Mayuu playing against his old club. Simbin in the 74th minute. They don't really have the team stats for us to look at. And the fantasy points are a little bit weird. But that's
very basic
Tay
stuff.
Cochran had a good game. Through what I saw. Yeah, they haven't updated all these.
It's still early for this one. Still early for this stuff.
They really struggle with
it on
Cup.
Tuesdays. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Broden Cons played. Paul Johnson, I don't know if he actually played. Broden Cons obviously didn't play Massey, went and played, and we saw the debut of young Latrell Fing. I think he played he definitely played 5'8", and Sean O'Sullivan played 7.
Halfback. Yep.
Yeah. But great job. Somebody said they believe that it was Lipboy's best game for a while. So, yeah, I want to get into that game and watch it, which I will do at some point. Jersey Flegg lost 22-20. They got within contact at about the I think there's still 20 minutes to go. And the
58th minute, I think they scored.
Yeah. I was watching that. Raymond Peru looked to be doing well in that game. So we scored the first 2 tries, missed the conversions, which told in the end. So very similar thing. Always tough to beat the Warriors, but the Ladders, it was an important win as far as like trying to win these comps. We'll get there at the end. We're in the top 5 briefly, but the Jets won today, beating the Roosters, which it's a pretty congested New South Wales Cup, all the way down to pretty much the Eels. Storm and Sea Eagles definitely not making the finals this year. But any of those other sides could. Panthers are well out in front. But everyone below them, I think, is a chance of doing some damage in this group. Bulldogs was to go over to Auckland and win is never easy. They were a magnificent side last year. They've still got a lot of depth and some good players in that Warriors team, and the Bulldogs kept their finals hopes alive. We're on 20 points. We get another couple of wins. So next week we've got Manly. We've had some all right games, but we will be it's funnily enough, Manly have been horrible in reserve grade for a very long time. When Des was there, they were horrible. They've always, I don't know why, they just barely had a good season in reserve grade. It's the way they do things, but their first grade side's generally very competitive. Which just shows you how different clubs prioritise things differently. For us, numerous changes in it, like in that Ron Massey Cup team. I think there was about 8 or 9 different players in there this week. Obviously, a lot of guys went across to Auckland, so that gave some people their opportunity in Ron Massey. But yeah, lots to look at and keep us engaged and focused. New South Wales Women's Premiership. Doggies lost again. Another close loss. So the differential is only -12 after 2 weeks, 2 6-point losses in a row. So they're not far off. They're generally good in the Premiership. But I think now that we're our juniors are really good, got a lot of depth there, and the priority is to get them cracking into that NRLW side. Jersey Flegg sitting 4th with only 4 losses, 3 byes, but pretty congested down to 7th spot. Warriors needed that win. Very good side still. Very good competition. The Rabbitohs have started this year off well, but have sort of dropped down a bit. Obviously, a few injuries in their first grade side that trickles down.
Yep.
They've been going well in the reserve grade side, but I think they're starting to hit a few
Top
issues
4,
in that.
top 4, yeah.
Did they win on the weekend, or they have a bye?
I think they had the bye this week.
They had the bye. How'd they go the previous week? Yeah, they lost. So I think they're, with Latrese Seawalt and all that playing and playing NRL.
First grade, yeah.
These sort of players, when they come out of your team, they really have an effect.
Thanks for your support, Shoey.
What's happened? Thank you again, mate. Thank you so much.
I think he was referring to this comment here from Timmy.
Zane Walker, not much. Can't tell you much about Zane at all, but he's definitely continued to get a spot in Ron Massey. He goes good. He's played and he's getting, he's right in the conversation. So they got Zane Walker, they got Latrell Fing, they got Raymond Peru, they got what's the other one? Just forgot his fucking name. Damn, it's making. You got Tay Cochran above all of them, and Tay played really well on the weekend. From what I could see, there's another guy. It's making me go crazy. All playing fullback.
Okay, Dykes. I wonder how long Dykes is out for anyway.
I'm not sure, but he did his look like a hammy twinge last 2 weeks ago.
He was coming into some good form.
Good to see 2 Bulldogs in the New South Wales under 19 team. Yeah, Marcellus scored a nice try, but he also had 2 really 2 moments he'll learn a lot from, I think, defensively, which led to tries.
What was the sin bin for in the cup?
Not sure.
Didn't see it. Yep.
Yeah, I've got to watch it all. But Zane Walker keeps getting picked and getting opportunities at fullback. Jai Callahan, sorry, is the other one. So you got Jai Callahan, Raymond Peru, Zane Walker, even little Mickey, what's his name? Been playing on the wing. Mickey Nassar. He's a halfback from the Roosters, come to the Dogs and been playing wing. So they're getting talented, skillful players into our system and using the different grades to develop them as individuals to help them become NRL players and putting them through all the systems. It's a big job. It's all about winning comps in the NRL. We won some Flegg when they come back, and we won some Harold Matts, and they're great to win those competitions. They're prestigious. They're good. They're great. But we sort of had to spend a fair bit of money in the pathways to get some kids in there. And then you've got to get the payoff out of that eventually. So I don't think we've got a pathway with the North Coast Bulldogs anymore. I'm not sure about the Tigers either. I need the Greater Northern Tigers. I need to check that out. But we've got academies, and we've got a Queensland Academy, and we've also got a New Zealand Academy, which are very, very important for us. Yep, hopefully they can. But you take a team lightly, and it would have been a big trip across to Auckland as well. I'm not giving them excuses, but I think they might see a lot of changes in that team this week. Yeah, man, it was great to watch that comeback. I actually hadn't watched any of that Massey game until about 15 to go, because Brad's messaging me, and I've had to do a lot of work, and he's gone, they're a lot of young guys, SG ball players playing Massey this week, and they're playing against men. Like there's, William Afawalo is playing in that Blacktown Workers Club now. He went to Souths. Is Workers now a feeder club for South Sydney? You're not sure?
Not sure.
All right. So you got and Alan Holton, who played hooker for the Bulldogs last year, played some New South Wales Cup, played some Massey. Looks like a good player. They had quite a few older blokes in that side. So, yeah, they sort of struggled. But the talent shone through late, and they got that tie. It was nice and exciting. It was one of the most enjoyable 15 minutes I've watched in a long time.
What's keeping Spinks out of first grade? Seems like a workhorse, 35 plus tackles a week, runs good lines. He's been knocking on the door for a while. He's had a few jump over him and sort of get a start before him, but not his position though. But we had guys that have been ready ahead of him to step up. Still got Curran there. Still Sitili's stepped up from the bench to play first grade. So. And I expect if Presto's back, it's going to make it harder for him to start. But look, he's definitely a prospect. Definitely, he's the captain of the New South Wales Cup team. Definitely works hard. He's got a good level head. It looks like he's a, real smart sort of player as well. So just, looks
he
like
goes into the top 30 next year. So there's no big rush.
No rush. No rush.
It's when you got Preston Kickow. And then you got Curran still there.
Sitili,
and that's the thing, if Hamoli or Helam Lukey or any of these players on an edge are running at Curran's going to tackle them every time. He's going to tackle them. Doesn't matter what people think about Curran. He's going to make those tackles.
Yeah, he's tough.
he's tough. Whereas Logan, once a bit of fatigue gets in the game, and that he's probably going to throw an arm out, just because.
There's an answer to your question there, mate, from Joey.
Yeah. Oh, they are the feeder club for South Sydney, so there you go. So they used to be the feeder club for Manly, in both and in reserve grade. So they've dropped out of that now. They're into Massey, and they're a feeder club for South Sydney. So William Afawalo, who I did an article on, and beautiful boys, William and Max. Max is doing a pilgrimage. I think that's what they call it. We both went to Souths, take an opportunity to go there. They didn't. I don't think they really wanted to leave, but they did. I think they made some offers by the Bulldogs, but decided to go to South Sydney, rolled out the red carpet and whatever else. But that's the thing. It doesn't always go to how you plan it. So hopefully William gets his way back into reserve grade and gets an NRL chance at South Sydney at some point. But
I'm out of jail, mate. Am I out of jail?
You're out of jail, mate. What did you do?
I don't know. Don't jinx it.
You just need to talk more. G'day, Andy. What a win, brother. Andy's you heading to China or something soon, Andy? Been trying to follow you around on your Facebook. Ron Massey feeds South Sydney New South Wales Cup they signed last year. There you go. And Joey's out of Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs supporters, the biggest group on Facebook.
Does a really good stats update page after every game, guys. Highlights all the best players, shows all their stats, what they do. A nice one page there. It's very easy to read and see. Good snapshot. So good job.
And Joey will be posting them from the actual Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs supporters page into the groups from now on, so make sure you support that page. That'll be from Joey. Just like you got to support the Dogfather page, rather than some other pages that just post everything.
Andy's going to Ho Chi Minh, mate. Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Vietnam.
He's taken all.
And I'm taking all things Bulldogs. That's it. He's got his flag. He sent me a photo of him in the flag. He wasn't happy with it. He wants to send another one. Defense does win games, Andy, and that's the thing. Look, you build confidence out of winning. It doesn't matter how you win. You just got to win. And I do think we take a lot of crap for winning. I can tell you that much. James might not be able to make it to the Gold Coast game. Come on, mate. Critta's playing with a bloody shoulder, mate.
Grade 5.
Come on, James.
Just meet Michael on the way, mate. He'll take you. Just do it. Car share, guys. Come on, figure it out.
I'll needle you up, mate. You'll be right. Just stick a needle in there and you'll be fine.
That's it, guys.
Thanks for letting me know, mate. I hope you get better. But, guys, I think that's enough for tonight. Was there any other stuff I said we were supposed to talk about?
No, I think Timmy's just got a few things there about the Cup. That's good. Timmy, yep. Eamon Fitzgibbon's back playing Flegg.
Yep.
That's it, guys. But, guys, next week it's Dogs and Titans, 6 p.m. on the Friday night. So that's at Seabus. So they're coming off, obviously, the win against the Panthers minus Cleary and a few Origin players. So they'll be pumped and they'll be ready for it. So let's get ourselves ready for our podcast on Tuesday, Team List Tuesday. Again, we'll see what's in the 23 there for us to work with. If we see Preston in there, we're hoping that he'll be playing and we'll go from there. But and hopefully by tomorrow we'll find out the scan results for Sitili to see what his potential, how bad the grading is on his hemi. He hasn't had a lot of luck with hemis in the past, so hopefully it's not a bad one. But and hopefully he sort of stopped when he realised what was going on. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for your support.
Pro 5T, yeah, buddy. My daughter wants to see that photo. She's 14, so I think you're about her age. You're a Bulldog supporter, so you're all right. Come up and speak to the dad. Just try to set you up with my daughter. No, it's all good. Yes, get on the Facebook and post that onto go join All Things Bulldogs if you're out on Facebook, or get your dad to post it or whatever. I'm happy to put that photo because we're trying to getting all the photos of all the fans that we see and people in the community, and I want to put it all together and have a little scrapbook sort of online of all the different photos. We've got the Gold Coast covered in the middle. Sorry, Andy. Yep, you can watch it all, listen to it. I'll try and get it on to Spotify as well. Sorry. No worries, mate. Thanks, Pro 5T. Night, everyone.
You can catch up with old fella Dave, mate. He'll be at Seabus on Friday.
Yep. Dave, message me. I'm probably going to go to Robina and park there and walk over with my daughter. So happy to have a little drink. I usually go to Fridays and have a meal for those who want to catch me out.
See you, Brian. See you guys.
Yeah,
see you, Timmy.
Hope. That's it. Let's flog the Titans. All right, people. Thanks for tonight. Good review. Good job, Gas.
Have a good night, guys.
Kick-out comes back about 10 weeks. Maybe 7 weeks from now, 6 weeks, something like that. And he'll need fitness. It'll take him a while to get back to his best after that injury, trust me. Could be good for us, hopefully, in a different role.
Yep.
Get a dog up. Yeah, that's it, guys. All right. Have a good one, James, and I hope your surgery goes well, buddy. Let us know. All right. Thanks, soon, guys. People. And thank you so much to Tony and Rhett for your contributions, and we'll put that towards the total for the next draw. Take care, everyone. Go the Dogs.
G-Day Doggies fans, welcome to the show.